Welcome to Zentangle Mini Project. I am Sandhya, an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. So today's focus tangle here is going to be Caracole by Lily Moon. So this is an interesting floral tangle which has a lot of possibilities. So in this project we will be using Caracole as our main tangle, and we will be working with a couple of other tangles. So I'm going to use my white square for this project and work with my black pen. So go grab your supplies and let's get started. Here is my supplies: my white tile, 01 black, 08 black, just in case I need to use it for filling. And here's my pencil and my stub. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with a circle right in the center. So I'm not using any border, so we have not created any border with the pencil, and no strings. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with the tangle. So just eyeball the center and start with a circle. I've ordered the circle, and I'm going to make this little upside down V. So my next one is going to kind of start somewhere in the center of this line and go out and then come back right next to that. So I'm going to repeat this again. Now every time I repeat, I'm going to go a little longer than the previous one. So I start from here, I go out, and I come back in right there. So keep rotating your tile as you go along. So you see the petals kind of increases in size. So each consecutive petal is a little bigger than the previous one. So you see here I've almost reached the first point where we started, but I'm going to go about continuing with my petals. So I just go stop here right when I hit that, and probably pull it down a little. So you remember our rule in Zentangle where you don't cross the line, so you just go behind. That's already there. So I'm going out of the page here, which is okay. So now there are a couple of options here. Either you can keep continuing and keep filling this place up. After a point you might not have much of the petal showing through, or you can start reducing or decreasing in the size. So which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm kind of going to come down here. So it's like this, and then I go about like that. I go about like that. So now I'm going smaller than the previous one. And there it kind of ends. So there it ends there. So you see it starts from here, it goes around like this, and it's going behind these petals and behind these petals, and here from somewhere here I've started reducing the size, and now my petals are going smaller, and it kind of ends right there. So you can just end it wherever you want. So this is Caracole, a beautiful floral based tangle. Now there's so many things that we can do here. We can do a lot of filling inside these petals with other tangles, which is what we're going to do today. So before we start adding other tangles, I would like to go ahead and give a inner aura line like that for each of the petals. So this way our petals shows through nice and strong, like none of the inner tangle would take it up. So go ahead and take your time and slow and gentle give a nice aura line for each of these petals. So here is my charcoal with both the inner lines done. Now it's ready to for us to add tangles in these petals. Now you can go really crazy and have a different tangle in each of the petal, and that would look fine. But for today's session, I am going to use two tangles. One is called Printemps, which is my mac and cheese tangle. I mean, I just use this everywhere and all over. And the next tangle is going to be a kind of night bridge, but I think we will call this as jackal. So it looks like night bridge, but it's just that the grid isn't straight grid, so it's going to be like this. So I'm going to alternate between spiral and my printemps and my jack wall. So I'm going to add my printemp here. And I'm going to add my next tangle right here. Make sure your blacks are nicely filled. It makes a difference when it's nice and jet black, and if it has those little white spots sneaking through. So I'm gonna add my spiral again. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make these and then come back with my thicker pen and do the filling. So for now I'm just going to make the grid and come back to do the darks. Almost done. I still have a couple of petals to be filled in, but I'm almost there. So I'm going to start somewhere here and pretend like this is going behind this and this. I'm just pretending that there was a spiral right behind that. There you go. So I'm almost done now. I'm gonna start with my thicker pen to to add the to add the shading, the jonquil. So here's how I'm gonna go. I chose these two tangles because one is a more line-based tangles. The printum is a line-based tangle, and this one has a good contrast. So that gives a beautiful finish to the tangles. There is a nice balance of black and white. So I'm almost done with the black. I really like what I see here. Isn't that pretty? So I'm also going to add the black right in here. So I'm going to make a teardrop. So this is going to be white, and I'm going to fill the rest of it with solid black. So there it is. So before I start with the shading, I want to add a little bit of depth on my print arms. So I'll just add these little sections with black. Also maybe make my center a bit more darker and thicker. So I'm going to do this on all of my spirals. So that looks better than this. So I'm going to do that for all of my spirals. Just add a little black. So I'm done with my adding of darks. So if you see, all my spirals have been added with black to give that nice pop. Now I'm going to get to the fun part. Let's start with the shading. So shading for CARACOLE is going to be very simple. You're just going to go behind this line here. So this is where we need to show the depth, so it looks like it is overlapping the previous petal. So I'm going to put my pencil first on all the petals like that. You could also do individual shading, like if you want to do just for this section, you could do that for all of them. But for that, I feel it would be better if your space was more, so you could show a good amount of shading there. But for today's project, this is good. Just going to go behind this existing petal to show the overlap. So my pencil is all done. I'm going to take my stub and just blend it gently, because we have the blacks, and if you press too hard, the paper might rip because the black is still wet. So it seems to be dry, it's still wet inside the paper. So just be careful when you're doing it on the black. To see how pretty it looks, it's kind of pulling the petal, each petal out. The shading just gives a lovely dimension. So I wanted to add a bit of pencil right behind this petal that is sticking out. So this way, I wanted to create that depth. So it looks like the petal is being raised out of the paper. So that is what I'm trying to do now. I'm going to blend this with my stub. So I'm going to pull my stub all the way till this end. I'm going to do this especially for the petals that are sticking out. So there you go. So now I like the way the petal is sticking out and the whole flower is kind of jumping out of the paper. So I'm going to finish this with my signature, or rather my initials. So I'm going to put my initials right here, and there you go, CARACOLE with Brentons and Jankoil. Well, wasn't that a fun tangle to play with? I can't wait to see your creations. So when you share them on social media, please do tag me. You could probably use the hashtag Tangle with Sandhya or at the rate Sandhya Manne. So I get to see your artworks. And do like and share the video and subscribe to the channel so for more such fun projects. Until next time, remember to breathe and smile, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.